Good Monday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. Well, it's a brand new day. It's a brand new week, which means it's a brand new opportunity for you to do something amazing, and it all begins today. Of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this Monday. Have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. And in today's news you can use, you hear part of my conversation with Dr. Rob Cowell and Michaela Davis, talking about what a pacemaker is, who may need it, and also about a new technology that allows you to have the world's smallest pacemaker. You'll hear part of that conversation today. Enjoy our program. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Monday headlines. In national news, the U.S. sees a drop in illegal border crossings after Mexico increases enforcement. The decrease in illegal crossings is welcome news for the White House. President Joe Biden's administration is locked in talks with Senate negotiators over restricting asylum, and $110 billion in aid for Ukraine and Israel hangs in the balance. Mexico's immigration agency sent at least 22 flights from its border region with the U.S. to southern cities during the last 10 days of December, according to witnesses at the border, an advocacy group that tracks flight data. Most were from the border from Eagle Pass, Texas. Mexico also ran 2 removal flights to Venezuela with 329 migrants. The stretch was punctuated by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to Mexico City on December the 28th to confront unprecedented crossings to the United States. The Mexican president said a financial shortfall that had led the immigration agency to suspend deportations and other operations was resolved. He did not offer details. Arrests for illegal crossings into the U.S. from Mexico fell to about 2,500 on last Monday, down from more than 10,000 on several days in December, according to U.S. authorities. In the Border Patrol's busiest area, arrests totaled 13,800 during the 7-day period ending last Friday, down 29% from 19,400 2 weeks earlier. The drop led U.S. Customs and Border Protection to reopen the port of entry in Lukeville, Arizona on Thursday after a month-long closure on the most direct route from Phoenix to its nearest beaches. The U.S. also restored operations at Eagle Pass and 3 other locations. Merchants in Eagle Pass, a city of about 30,000 people, saw sales take a major hit while a bridge was closed to vehicle traffic so border agents could be reassigned to help process migrants. Proposals being discussed by the White House and Senate negotiators include a new expulsion authority that would deny rights to seek asylum if illegal border crossings reach a certain threshold. Any such authority would almost certainly depend on Mexico's willingness to take back non-Mexicans who enter the U.S. illegally, something it does now on a limited scale. Mexico's support was critical to defunct Trump-era policies that forced 70,000 asylum seekers to wait in Mexico for hearings in U.S. immigration court and to deny rights to seek asylum due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In more national news, senior Biden leaders and Pentagon officials unaware for days the defense secretary was hospitalized. Senate Biden administration leaders, top Pentagon officials, and members of Congress were unaware for days that Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin had been hospitalized since Monday of last week, U.S. officials said on Saturday, as questions swirled about his condition and the secrecy surrounding it. The Pentagon did not inform the White House, National Security Council, or top advisor Jake Sullivan of Austin's hospitalization at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Maryland until last Thursday, according to 2 administration officials. The officials were not authorized to speak publicly about the matter and spoke to the AP on condition of anonymity. The Pentagon's failure to disclose Austin's hospitalization for days reflects a stunning lack of transparency about his illness, how serious it was, and when he may be released. Such secrecy at a time when the United States is juggling a myriad of national security crises runs counter to normal practice with the president and other senior U.S. officials and cabinet members. Still, President Joe Biden spoke with Austin on Saturday and expressed confidence in him, according to a White House official who's not authorized to speak publicly about internal discussions and spoke on condition of anonymity. In business news, Wall Street shaves off some losses to close its worst week in the last 10. Wall Street closed its worst week since Halloween with a listless Friday last week as the report showed workers are getting bigger raises, but key parts of the economy still don't look like they're overheating. The S&P 500 rose 9 points, or 0.2%, to 4,697 after drifting between small gains and losses through the day. Treasury yields swung sharply in the bond market following the economic reports. They initially climbed after the latest monthly jobs report showed U.S. employers unexpectedly accelerated their hiring last month. Average hourly pay for workers also rose when economists had been forecasting a dip. And finally, in entertainment news, Wonka is #1 at the box office again as 2024 gets off to a slower start, says the Associated Press. That made the top 5 movies over the weekend. #1, Wonka with $14 million. #2, Night Swim with $12 million. #3, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom with $11 million. #4, Migration with $10 million. And #5, Anyone But You with $10 million. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's some time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Monday's edition of Words I Choose to Live By. Do not allow fear to keep you from reaching the levels of success that have been destined for you. You were created to bring something special to the world, so don't expect anything less for yourself. Acknowledge your greatness and walk in it. Have a great Monday. We are part of my conversation coming up with Dr. Rob Cowell and Michaela Davis in today's News You Can Use. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your News You Can Use. Dr. Rob Cowell will rejoin me on Conversations Live, the radio show, along with patient Michaela Davis, to talk about those who may need a pacemaker, exactly what it is, and also how Michaela was able to benefit from it. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Thanks to the two of you for the time today. Really appreciate you stopping by the program.
Pleasure to be with you. Thanks for having us.
Dr. Cowell, I want to begin the conversation with you. I mean, this is exciting news, of course, as I think about how technology has definitely evolved and made things so much easier for us. For those who may hear us talking about a pacemaker, let's begin there. What is a pacemaker, and what are the signs that someone may need one?
A good place to start. So simply put, a pacemaker is a device that sits in the body and monitors the heart rate. And if the heart rate is fine, let's say 60 to 70 beats per minute at rest and going up with exercise, it won't do a thing. But if it sees the heart rate going down too low, it will stimulate or pace the heart to maintain the normal rate that the body requires. And this is important because if your heart rate is too low, you can have a range of symptoms from minor, such as some minor fatigue or a little dizziness, to major, where you can pass out if your heart stops for a period of time, and can be a source of real injury to your not only yourself but others.
And Michaela, I'm so glad that you're here to be able to share a bit of your story. First of all, thank you for doing that. How did you learn that you needed a pacemaker, Michaela?
Yeah, it wasn't until recently that I learned I needed a pacemaker, but it took a long time to get to that point, unfortunately. So my heart symptoms like dizziness and palpitations started in high school and really continued on through college and through my young professional years. And it wasn't until I suffered a TIA, or a mini stroke, that I began to have a more intense cardiac journey. And ultimately, following that, had that complete heart block of 8 seconds. And that led me to the pacemaker journey.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversation Daily News. But until tomorrow, more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course, entertainment spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversation Daily News today. Let us go make today amazing. Take care.